A lot of people move to Coquitlam and they regret it. On paper, it looks like the perfect choice. Newer homes, SkyTrain access, mountains, trails, schools, and it really feels like it fits every single box. But once you're actually living there, the problems start to show. Commutes feel worse than you expect, schools that aren't always as great as people make it sound, and in certain areas there are risks and trade-offs that most buyers don't even think to ask about until it's way too late. These aren't small details. These are the kind of things that can turn your dream move into one of the most expensive mistakes of your life. I'm Shahrad Sardari, a local realtor here in Metro Vancouver, and in this video, I'm exposing the 5 biggest reasons people regret moving to Coquitlam, and more importantly, how you can flip each one into an advantage if you know where to look. Let's start with traffic first, because this is the regret that almost everybody talks about once they've lived here for a while. If you aren't walking distance to a SkyTrain, you'll be in a car, and you'll be in a car a lot. And the roads that connect Coquitlam to the rest of Metro Vancouver, which are Lougheed Highway, Barnett Highway, North Road, and Como Lake Avenue, well, they're under constant pressure. Add in construction and lane closures, and what looks like a 20-minute drive on Google Maps can stretch into a 45-minute one on a weekday. The reason it feels so heavy is simple. City growth has outpaced the road growth. Coquitlam has been one of the fastest growing cities in the region, with thousands of new homes added in Burquitlam, Coquitlam Center, and Burke Mountain. The population is climbing, but the road network hasn't expanded at the same speed. So every new tower, every new subdivision means more cars feeding into the same old arteries. Even the city itself publishes a traffic hotspot map because they know where the choke points are, and it's no secret. Now, if you're watching this thinking, so this is hopeless, not at all. This is where smart planning pays off. Properties within a true walkable radius of SkyTrains almost always hold value better because they eliminate the commute pain point entirely. And if you look at the city's transportation plans, they're upgrading many of the major corridors. That means neighborhoods nearby are positioned to benefit once the work is done. So yes, traffic is real, but if you know where to buy and how to adjust your lifestyle around it, you can avoid the regrets and actually use the city's growing pains into money in your pocket by buying in places that are cheaper now, but will grow in value as a transportation system catches up. Next is choosing which neighborhood you're in. This is a big one, and honestly, it's what creates most of the regret stories I hear. Coquitlam isn't one lifestyle, it's a bunch of very different neighborhoods stitched together. And if you pick the wrong one for your life, you're gonna feel it fast. Take Burquitlam. It's where the energy is. Cranes in the sky, cafes and shops filling in, SkyTrain's right there. It's vibrant, young, and always moving. But it's also noisy, dusty, and busy. If you thrive on the hustle and bustle of the city, you'll love it. But if you need quiet, it will drive you crazy. Burke Mountain feels like the opposite. You got newer homes, big trail networks, lots of families. It's green and calm. But the trade-off is time. You're driving for groceries, coffee, and the kids' activities until more services are built out in the next couple of years. If you're patient, it's a fantastic long-term play, but if you want walkability now, it's a challenge. Westwood Plateau is the prestige option. Larger homes, tree-lined streets, city views, and it feels elevated, both literally and figuratively. But it's also intentionally suburban and quiet. For some, that piece is priceless, but for others, it feels like too far removed. Millardville is historic. It has texture, character homes, and slower redevelopment. You see charm and quirks on every block, but if you love authenticity, it works. If you're after polish, it can feel inconsistent. And then you've got Austin Heights and Ranch Park. These are the in-between areas. Some blocks are walkable, some are car dependent. Some homes are older, some are brand new. It's mixed, and it takes a lot of looking to find the right fit for your lifestyle. So when people say I regret moving to Coquitlam, what I really think they mean is I picked the wrong part of Coquitlam for the lifestyle I want to live. The way to avoid this regret is simple. Spend time in the neighborhood before you buy, visit in the morning, in the afternoon, and at night, pay attention to noise, traffic, and how it actually feels to live there. The right neighborhood can make Coquitlam feel like everything you wanted, but the wrong one can make you feel like you made a huge mistake. Next is the geography. And that's one of the things that makes Coquitlam so unique. You've got neighborhoods at higher elevations, places like Westwood Plateau, Burke Mountain, and even parts of Eagle Ridge. And then you've got communities down closer to the rivers and valleys, both of which come with their own trade-offs. Up high, the lifestyle feels amazing, quiet streets, fresh air, mountain views, trails right at your doorstep. These areas are some of the most desirable ones in the entire city for those reasons, but elevation brings its own challenges. Steeper streets mean snow and ice in the winter, and you'll need a car that can handle it. And being closer to the forest means you're sharing space with wildlife. bears, coyotes, and raccoons. It's manageable if you're prepared, but it is a factor of daily life. Down low, the risk shifts completely. Some pockets near the rivers sit in mapped floodplains, and after the atmospheric rivers of recent years, that's something more buyers are paying attention to. Insurances can be higher and resale may be slower if you don't do your homework. The city knows this, which is why millions are being invested right now into new dikes, pump stations, and flood protection projects. If you want the mountain lifestyle, be prepared. You will need winter tires, snow shovels, and an understanding of the terrain for the few weeks a year that we have snow. The payoff is quieter streets, more prestigious community that holds its value better. If you're buying lower down, study the maps and understand where the city is investing in flood mitigation. Being near but not inside those projects often means your property benefits from stronger protection and rising confidence in the area. One of the biggest reasons people move to Coquitlam is the value. Compared to Vancouver or Burnaby, you can usually get more space, newer homes, or better finishes for the same amount of money. That's real, and it's one of the biggest strengths this city has. But here's where regret sneaks in. People hear more affordable and they equate it with cheap. That's not the case. Coquitlam is still Metro Vancouver, and the costs that come with living there are real. Property taxes are higher than neighboring cities like Port Coquitlam or Pitt Meadows. Larger homes on the plateau come with bigger heating and maintenance bills. Newer high-rises have great amenities, but also higher strata fees that rise over time. So when people move there thinking they're escaping the cost of Metro Vancouver, they might feel blindsided. Don't just look at the purchase price, look at the full picture of what it costs to live there, and that's how you avoid the regret. Taxes, strata, utilities, and commuting, when you add all of them up, Coquitlam still comes out better value than Vancouver or Burnaby for many buyers. But if you plan properly and budget for those extras, you'll enjoy the upside without the regret. The next one is the schools, and this is the one that hits families the hardest. Coquitlam has a strong reputation for schools, and that's one of the biggest magnets for people moving there. But the truth is, the pace of growth has outstripped capacity. Schools in several neighborhoods are running at or above their limit. That shows up in crowded classrooms, interim facilities, and stretched programs. Parents arrive expecting a seamless, top-tier school experience, and what they find is a system that's still playing catch-up. The city is expanding, more classrooms are being built, new schools are in the works, the city and province know the demand is there. But it takes time, and in the short term, families can feel like they've been squeezed into a system that isn't quite ready for them. I wouldn't just look at where the schools are today, look at where they're going. If you buy into a neighborhood that's slated for new capacity or upgrades, you might spend a few years in the adjustment phase, but when those improvements arrive, your catchment becomes more desirable, and your property values will be higher as a result. So these are the 5 biggest regrets people have when they move to Coquitlam. Traffic that wears them down, neighborhood mismatches that make them feel out of place, hidden hazards in both the hills and the flats, sticker shock if they expected cheap instead of value, and schools that haven't caught up to demand just yet. If you ignore these, you risk one of the most expensive mistakes of your life. But if you understand them, you can use them to your advantage.